came to you in prayer with a humble heart. Please guide us and give us strength as we navigate through this day. Help us to be a vessel of your love and kindness to make a positive impact in the world.
May your presence be with me always, and may I always strive to do your will. Thank you for your blessings and for the gift of life. Amen.
Lord, I come to you much for joining us today. It's a beautiful day that the Lord has made. We will continue to rejoice and be glad in it. I want to say thank you so much for another beautiful day. And I want to welcome Dr. Favor Evergreen from USA, Ambassador Temitope Odetunde from UK, Brigadier General Chaplain Isaac Christian from Nigeria. I believe that because we are meeting up our time, other people will be joining us as we move on. All the video recorded, so I believe that we're going to make use of it. Please allow me to welcome quickly Ambassador Temitope Odetunde to be our first speaker this morning. The reason is that she's a very, very important, we are all important, sorry. She's a very, very, very busy woman. One of the directors of NHS in UK here. And you know that they don't play with their time. It's very, very important that we respect that one. So, without wasting any of our time, I would like to welcome you, ma'am, Ambassador Temitope Odetunde from UK. Please introduce yourself briefly before you start speaking. Thank you, ma'am. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. I'm very grateful. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I do not take it for granted. Thank you, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas Lally, for stretching out the opportunity to me and for allowing me to come and speak on this great platform with great people and people who are making a difference. I do not take it for granted. My name is Temitope Odetunde, and I work in the NHS. I've been in the NHS for 25 years now. It's been a long time. And I thank God for, the opportunity to move from coming in as more like at the bottom and, being able to move with time to where I am. I am what you would call the chief pharmacist for my organization. I am a pharmacist by profession. And I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you. Without further ado, I'll just share my screen because I kind of work better with
Yes, you can. And did you mention that you are the founder of your organization? Because I didn't hear that.
Not the organization that I work for currently, but I do have my own organization
Yes.
as that I work with, which is Rios Influencer. Rios Influencer Limited is a training platform where we support people in training within their organization and individual, like a career coach. So I do that, and I do a lot. I also I'm the convener or host of a program called Ambassador in the Marketplace, where we interview people who are Christian in the marketplace, who are making a difference and who are changing the marketplace by the power of their faith as well, as in they're making their faith authentic. They don't change who they are because they want to fit in, but they are actually advancing the system. So yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. I forget those things. So I'm gonna be talking about consistency, commitment, and competency. I kind of got drawn to this particular topic because I felt it's really relevant to what I do. It's relevant to in terms of my leadership role that I currently I'm considering that I sit on different boards. And I think is one that I think he applies both professionally and in personal life. I've already introduced myself, so I'm going to keep that. So I wanted to give some background, a bit of statistics, and I wanted to look at the connection between the 3 C's that I've just mentioned. What fuels consistency, how consistencies lead to competency, and some maybe practical application from my experience. And then obviously we do some question and answers. So in terms of commitment consistency, understanding our commitment for consistencies, which in turn leads to competency, I really believe that you have to have one, and the more of one you have will lead to the other, and that's the way I looked at it. I looked at it that if you're committed to a cause, because it also lead to consistency, and as you're consistent about this cause, there will be some competency in the professional field. They will call it thought leadership. So also look at practical application, how we can embed it in executive leadership and corporate culture, and some successes in leadership built on these 3 platforms, which is commitment, consistency, and competence. One of the things I also, especially from my line of work, I find out that somebody can be competent, but they can be competent, but they're not confident. So you can teach people what to do, but are they confident to actually go out and do those things? So that is also part of it. Just a little bit of statistic. The Harvard study, health benefits of commitment, and it says that they follow participants for over 75 years, found that strong committed relationship were the biggest predictor of long-term happiness and health, even more than money or fame. And we do see people that, they've been married for years, and not because they have loads of money, but there was commitment in that relationship. They also found that a study by the National Marriage Project found that couples who prioritize commitment over feeling had lower divorce rates even during hard times. So commitment is quite important, both in the practical world, i.e., I meant in the marketplace, as well as in personal relationship, as we talk about relationship. A journal found that a strong correlation between goal commitment and goal performance. The more committed someone is to a person or a goal, the more likely they are more to achieve it. And I'm sure some of these things, they're not new, the things. Also, another, just a bit about the statistic again, people with committed sense of purpose are more resilient to stress and less likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. And so what they're saying is that if you are committed to a cause, there is some conviction that comes with it, and that kind of keeps you on the course. And when it comes to like satisfaction, it says individual commit to long-term personal growth, value or spiritual belief, report higher level of life satisfaction and lower rate of existential distress. So commitment also, as it says there, it kind of looked at personal growth, values, and spiritual beliefs. So, if we say we're spiritual and then we're not committed to the spiritual things as well, actually, are we actually going to find satisfaction? And, just to put it out there, is that where people opt from one church to another because they're not committed? Because if you're committed, there are some things that it will not bother you because you know why you're there. And that goes for other things in our lives as well. Relationship and consistent communication affection are 86% more likely to last longer, according to this psychology. So when there's commitment in relationship, it lasts longer. And I think for people, I always see myself very young on this platform when I come, and I always look like when people I've looked at even like Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth, some of the relationship that you have on this platform is because of that commitment, and they've stuck with you and they've stayed with you because they can see that you're committed to what you're doing and they like what you're doing and they wanted to be part of that. So very important. And also, they found that people who stick with commitment, even though failure, outperform more naturally talented pair over time. So when people even when you're failing, if you're committed to the course and you're sure that that's what you should be doing, the idea is that victory will come at the end. And we've seen that, like some of these, like the person I think that they made the light bulb, I can't remember how many times they said he failed, but he was committed to the fact that there should be this light bulb must happen. And even though he failed 1,000 times or whatever, he was still carrying on. And I remember, I think it was the one they asked him that, what does he think about all those times that he has failed? And he said that it just shows me how not to do it again. So the way we view our commitment actually helps us to view our situation differently. So the commitment actually, it shapes our view of life. Very important. So just to summarize a little bit, it says that some areas and impacts of competency on it. So self-esteem, people people can build confidence and it can reduce self-doubt if people are in terms of competence impact. So looking at competence, if people are competent, they feel like, okay, my self-esteem is better. And we'll look at competence later, but I thought I'll just put this table here. In terms of relationship, it enhance the relationship, community, mental health. We look at some as well in terms of satisfaction in status, low risk. We talk about that. In terms of career, promote trust and leadership potential, especially as you move up in leadership, people start to trust you more because they can see that you're committed and you're competent. And we look at that, and it boosts independence and adaptability, because that's how, the way I see it, that's how people move into business. Because if you don't feel like, if you're not committed and you're not competent and you're not ready to do it consistently, you will really struggle in business as well. So in terms of connection, I looked at it that, like I said earlier, that I feel they're connected. There's a connection between the three, and I think the holder is always commitment, consistency, and competency. So commitments, I'm sure we've come across the definition is the decision to stay dedicated to a cause or goal or value, not because that goal or value is gonna bring result all the time. It's just like starting a business. At the beginning of a business, you probably will not, especially if it's a business that you're waiting for people to come and buy something or things like that. It's really challenging because people need to trust you. They need to see that consistency. Actually, there is a statistic out there to say that people with, for instance, like online business or online sales, people will watch your program or your message that you put out for like 16 times, up to that sometimes, before they actually decide to buy from you. But sometimes we think that people are not looking. People are looking, but they want to see that commitment. They want to see that consistency. They want to see that you're not going to pack up in a year and they don't want to put their money, and then suddenly the person kind of disappear. And so, and I look at it and I believe it's true, because there are people that I've looked at their program. I can see this program is really great. I can see myself spending money on it, but I still look back, and I just wait and I wait and I wait. And sometimes, okay, the money is going up. Oh, it was 200 pounds. Now it's 210 pounds. I better do it now, you know. And I sometimes I had to believe, and until I get to that point in which, okay, I can now part with my money. But sometimes I will have, there was a program I attended like 6 times before I decided to actually purchase the program. Every time they do the demo, I will always go, but I don't buy because I needed to see proof. I needed to see that consistency. I needed to trust this person. So consistency is the discipline, taking regular, deliberate action aligned with the commitment. So consistency is like, okay, yeah, I'm committed to the cause, but what am I doing on a daily basis to actually show my commitment? So consistency is the place that we show. So commitment, nobody knows your commitment because it's inside you. But consistency is when you demonstrate that commitment that you have. So this is where people will start to see that's commitment that you say you have. So, like they say, talk is cheap. So you tell, oh, yeah, I'm committed. But people, it's just the same way when you have staff. They can tell you they're committed, but you need to see it. And the consistency is where you see that commitment that they said they have. So this is the same period where you actually are deliberate. Competency is the outcome. So it's the mastery achieved through continuous learning and application. So competency is when people start to say, okay, I think I can see now that what you're saying, I can see you being that person. I can trust you now. I can refer you on. I can give you reference. I can reference you to somebody else to say, actually, I can vouch for this person. And that's where business kind of start to thrive and start to scale up, because people can now see that commitment over time and they can trust us with that. So if I'm dedication to a cause or a goal, why does it matter? It drives motivation even when challenges arise. So it's if we're not committed, when challenges arise, we will run away. And the reality is that challenges will come. There is nothing that we do that challenges will not come. It builds trust and credibility among stakeholders. Like I said earlier, when we are committed to a cause and we demonstrate it, people will start to it kind of build credibility. They start to look at us differently. At first, they might be skeptical and they're looking like, oh yeah, we'll see how long this is going to last for, and things like that. But with time, they will start to change their mind. Like they say, I think it's in the book of in one of the apostles, when they said they were looking at Paul, when the snake bites him. After a while, they change their mind because people always change their mind, and they will change their mind, but they need to see that commitment. And like we said, the way to demonstrate it is through that consistency. Align personal and organization goal with long-term vision. Even working in an organization or having an organization, you have to be committed to the organization. If you're working for someone, you have to be committed. It's the same way. One of the things, when I qualified as a pharmacist, I had the vision to go and work in a chemist, or open my own chemist, or to work for the NHS. And today, people always ask me, why do you want to work for the NHS? And I'm like, for me, it's not the money. The money is part of it, but the money is not. For me, it's about that patient care, and it's about making that difference, and it's about going to where the problem is and seeing how you can make an impact. And so even though when you compare to if I go private and if I go for the NHS money is not that great. Let's just put it the way it is. But the reality is that the work is there, and if I believe to make an impact and to make a difference that I believe I want to do, is the place to be. And that's I've enjoyed my time there, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to do things. And I think that's important. Commitment shows that you have conviction. Because if you don't have, if you're not, if you don't have conviction, you will not be committed. Because that is conviction. It just makes you believe that, okay, I'm convinced of this idea, so I will be committed to it. So for me, sometimes I even look at it that, okay, maybe you need to have the conviction, and the conviction is what you show us through your commitment to this part that you said you are on. And as leaders, it shows people that, okay, there's a conviction here, and they're ready to buy into that conviction that we say we have. And it helps us to take calculated risk. If you're not committed to something, you're not going to take risk, because something will come and they will and you won't have the whole picture. Because there are times in which we take steps, or we have to make decisions, especially in the healthcare. We have to make decisions. Sometimes you don't have the full picture. You don't, I mean, when a new drug is launched, even though we do trials and everything like that, we do trials on not the whole of the population. So really and truly, you don't know what other people are going to feel when they take this drug. But you have to make the decision based on the information you have. And if you're not committed, you're not going to take that risk. And consistency, it builds momentum as well, and it fosters discipline. So if you're not consistent, consistency in this case, it builds momentum and foster discipline, because you're committed, but actually, what are you going to do about it? And it strengthens brand and corporate identity. If you're committed, then you're consistent, because you'll know that, okay, I am putting out something and I want people to trust me. How do I do that? I need to be able to strengthen what I'm putting out there. I need to be the same person all the time. I can't be one face here and one face there. I can't give somebody value and another person value. Patient cannot have different experience when they come. They have to have the same experience. And so I have to put in place a system that anyone that comes in contact with me, they have the same experience. And that way there is consistency. And it's not like, oh, he sold it for me for £5. Oh, really? He sold me for £50. Is it because he thinks I can afford £50 and he thinks you can't? No, the consistency has to be there. And it's like what the Bible says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Consistency. Create a culture of reliability and trust. Again, when you are consistent, people trust us. And I think we have talked about that as well. Leaders must set routine and reinforce habits for sustainable results. So if we are consistent as leaders, it becomes an habit within the organization, and it actually helps us to sustain the results, because people know. And I always look at it this way, that if you are modeling consistency, your staff will have no choice but to be consistent. For instance, it's the same way. If you have a business, you one day you are there at 10 a.m., the other day 8 a.m., the other day 12 noon. Then if you get a staff, you can't really ask them. But if your staff know 8 a.m. in the morning you are there, and you employ them to get there at 9, maybe the first day they got there at 9:05, the second day maybe 9:50, the third day they will arrange themselves and they will get there at 9, because they know that every 8 o'clock you'll be there. And when they come there and they see you and they look at you, they're like, okay, yeah, maybe not to do this again, because if I do it again I might get fired. But if they don't see you being consistent, they like, okay, yeah, my boss is not going to be here anyway, so I can just do whatever I like. No, consistent in communication and decision making enhance leadership credibility. Like I said, it helps you to be credible. Amazon consistency, customer centric approach. I know we've all dealt with Amazon. Amazon will rather give you the product for free rather than to damage their consistency and their brand. They will go to any length to protect that consistency. They will, if they say they will deliver, they didn't deliver, they will make it up to you that you will not. It's like trying to shut you up not to complain. And there are times in which, and the thing is that, does that mean that Amazon doesn't make mistake? They make mistake, but we all still use them. We will still prefer to use them than to use other places, because there is consistency in their approach. And you know, and in terms of the ability to perform a higher level through skill and knowledge, which is competency, it leads to increased efficiency and innovation and credibility. Then there is competency, there is innovation, because then we're not just trying and error anymore, because we've done it, we're committed, we've done it over time, consistently. Then we know what the pitfalls are, we know where the pit holes are, we know all these things, so we can start to innovate. And that's why it takes time sometimes to build business, because you need that time to be committed and consistent. Then you can now to scale up. When people try to scale up, when they've not been when they've not been committed to what they're trying to do, or they're not consistent, they waste money. So when people start, like you're trying to start from the end instead of starting from the beginning, people waste money. So they're not committed, they're not competent. They're not committed, they're not consistent, and now they're building a website. They have all these beautiful things, but they're not committed. They're not putting out posts. They're not advertising. They're not doing anything, but they have beautiful websites. They got somebody to optimize their LinkedIn profile, do all sorts. But actually, what they need at the beginning to actually create the traction they need, they haven't done it, which means they're not committed to it, they're not competent. I mean, okay, you have a website, but your website is not updated, you're not committed to it, you're not putting any blog, we don't know what you're doing. Nobody is going to engage with that. And that's problem solving and decision. So when we're competent, we are able to solve more problems, which is why at the beginning of a journey, or a business, or even a career, the problem you can solve is different. So for instance, I've been in the NHS for 25 years. The problem I can solve at the point of entering the NHS and the problem I can solve now, they're not the same, because I have demonstrated a level of committing and consistency over time. And so it's the same way, even in my career as a pharmacist, the sort of things I will look at and say, oh, don't worry about that. A newly qualified will look at you and they will start panicking. But there was a time I was there that as a newly qualified, I look at something, I'm like, oh my God, please don't send me to that ward, or don't send me to that place. But over time, I have built that. So it builds credibility. It helps us to get to that place. We start to solve bigger decisions. We start to make bigger impact, bigger and enable long-term personal organization growth. So if it's just like I look at big brands, like, let's even forget Amazon. Amazon is not that old. I'm not sure which one is older though, but I think Coca-Cola is older than Amazon. Coca-Cola has been around for years. They've been around for years, and the taste of the Coke is not different. Even when they try to put other flavor, it's not the same as Coke. And like somebody said, if you go to a party and there is no Coke, there are some people that they will be upset with you, because they will be like, where is the Coke? Where is the Coke? But they have built that over time. They've become competent that they can even try different flavor. There are some people, they've not even tried the little ones. They want to start trying different flavor. You've not convinced us about one flavor. You want to start trying other flavor. But Coke has, they've maintained that over time. And so when they bring out other things, even though you're thinking in your head, I don't think what this will taste like, you will still try it. Because there is a trust that they've built over time. There's a long-time personal and organizational growth that you've seen that gives you that trust in them. So competency is developed through continuous learning. You have to keep evolving. The people that stop learning, they start to die. We have to keep evolving. It's not about the age. It's not, we have to keep evolving. And that's especially in these days of AI, you have to keep evolving, especially if you have a business or if you have a platform, you have to keep evolving, because if you're not evolving, then you become obsolete in certain things. And people, even though people engage with you, it's just like a McDonald's and KFC. They have to evolve, because you now have people that they want to do the diet thing, and so now they say salad. They have the burger for the burger people, and they have the salad for the diet people. You have to evolve. You have to evolve, and so it's really important. A culture feedback and professional development enhance competency. And Google continuously upskilling and learning initiative. Google has so many things out there that you can learn. And even though, I mean, there was a time that Yahoo happens to be the in thing. I don't even know if some people don't even know Yahoo anymore, because Google has taken over the platform. And so that's very important. Knowing why strengthens our commitment. Knowing why, it builds emotional connection to your goals. So I know a lot of people have written about know your why and everything, and it is true. If you know your why, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you alive, it keeps the vision alive, it keeps the dream alive. It keeps the dream alive. There was a time in which I was trying to get an admission to study pharmacy, and I have to do things to keep the dream alive, to keep me committed. I have to look for a job that still keep me in that line, so that I can keep the dream alive, so that I can be committed. It aligns your effort with deeper personal or organization purpose. Where we know our why, there is a deeper connection there. It makes giving up no longer an option, only pivoting on improving. So when we know our why, the idea of even giving up is not going to be there, because you're thinking, I've invested so much into this thing. I'm not giving up at this point. And a purpose-driven leader inspired deeper and lasting commitment. Also knowing our why, is also knowing our why. The purpose transform routine into mission-driven habits. So when we know our why, it's not a routine anymore. It's like a mission. It becomes like a mission. It becomes like something that is driving us. And people will be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so about this thing? But you know that this one is not, we're not beating around the bush here. We're driving, and we have a destination in mind. And it helps you to stay on track even when results are slow. So even when results are slow, you say there are times in which sometimes I've thought about, oh, maybe I should change from where I am and move. But there is a commitment, there is the why that while I went into that area of practice, and I'm like, no, I'm not moving. It looks like there are greener grass on the other side, but I'm sticking here because I know the grass will soon be green. It's taking time, but yeah. It replaces emotions ups and down with steady progress. So the reality is that there are times in which the emotion will be like, oh my God. And there are times we'll be exhausted. It's the reality of life. But the why strengthens us, because it keeps us going, and it helps us align daily efforts and long-term vision. It turns our preference into a core value. And it's important to have those core value. Also knowing why fuels competency and excellence. It drives the hunger. There is an hunger that you have when you're committed to a thing, and when you are on the journey of being competent and being confident about it, because you want to give excellence. You just don't want to give a wishy-washy results, because then people are not going to trust. Because if we don't give if we give different results, we're not stable, we're unstable, and people are not gonna trust us. It transforms hard work into meaningful pursuit. So we are not looking at it as hard work. We are actually enjoying it. People can wake us up at any time and we are ready to go. And the reality is that also it helps us to refine our skills and, to rise above average, because the reality is that I think everybody is doing something. My view is that a lot of people are doing it on average. That's why they feel it's not working. You have to go beyond and above. I always tell myself, there is nothing wrong in being 5 steps ahead. There's nothing wrong in looking beyond. There is nothing look outside the box. You cannot think like everybody else and want to make an impact. No, you have to. There's a level of thinking, and I've been a spiritual person also help, because spiritually you have God and then you have your competency, and those two should produce a bigger result for you and inspire higher performance mindset. We've talked about, on this platform we talk about mindset is everything, and higher performance mindset across you have to, your commitment, your competency, it will inspire higher performance mindset. So I look at commitment, consistency, and competency as a three-legged stool. If you remove one, the other ones won't stand, because you need the commitment, you need the commitment. Oh, it's changed my slide. Sorry, it's meant to be commitment, um, consistency, and confidence. Sorry, it's meant to be commitment, consistency, and competence. Sorry, I don't know what is that, but you need the three-legged stool. And if you remove one, the other two will not stand. So we need to be committed. Their commitments will transform into consistency, and the consistency will give us the competency that we want, which helps people to start to say, okay, I can now refer you to someone. I can now trust you with my business. I can now trust you with, my life as a life coach or whatever else we are doing, because they can see over time that we have demonstrated commitment, consistency, and competency in everything we do. Thank you so much. I hope I've not spent over my time. I wasn't looking at the time. So sorry. Um, thank you so much for the opportunity. I am very grateful. Any questions?
Okay.
I know Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth will have a questions.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you starting the day with us on consistency, commitment, and competence, which is very, very important. And we also can apply it to our relationship. Briefly, because I know you are the director of NHS, and I know that you've led us through the professional level. How can we apply it to our relationship?
So in terms of commitment, I think one of the statistics shows that you have to be committed. So in a relationship, whether professional relationship, networking, you have to be committed. People can see the fake. They can
Mm,
see if you are just a pest or a parasite. They can see
mm,
it. And when they can see it, they will, after a while, maybe they will put up with you a few times, but after a while they'll be like, okay, yeah, this one is just a taker. So I'm just gonna put you in that box. So in terms of commitment, shows that it is beyond collecting, for example, connections. The consistency means that you check on your connection. So from time to time, for example, on LinkedIn, because I stay on LinkedIn a bit more than any other platform. Sometimes I check on people. How are you? Especially if they put a post out to say, oh, I'm now starting a new degree and stuff like that. After a few months, how was your degree? How are you doing? And then it reignites that relationship. And through those little gesture of actually daily, routinely reaching out to people like that. I've had people say, "Oh, by the way," and there was a day I just reached out to somebody. "Oh, how are you doing, Mara?" I was like, "Oh, by the way, somebody came and asked me to do something, and I thought you would be good for it." And that's how they referred me on. But then if I didn't reach out to them, they would not have remembered me. Or they probably remember me and they're thinking, "Oh, I'll call her one of these days." But because I reached out, I was able to. And in terms, and then in terms of my relationship, in terms of competency, people kind of follow you with time and they begin to like, "Okay, yeah, I can ask you about that. I can comfortably come and ask you about that," which relates to their personal life. So they have to see me being committed to them, being consistent with them, and then they can start to open up their life to me. And that's the way I see it in relationship. People will not open up to you when they can't see you're committed to them. They can't see that you're consistent. They've tried you with little secrets and they hear it on BBC. Then next time they will not even go there. So I think that's how it relates to relationship. You have that two bits has to happen first for people to start to open up to you on a bigger level when it comes to personal relationship.
And thank you so much, Ambassador Temitope, because I think it's very, very important that we deal with all these commitment, consistency, and also competence, because sometimes building relationship is a big work, either in professional or in personal. And what people don't understand is that it's okay. I mean, like they will always say, love is blind, love is blind, love is blind. But yes, love is blind. But in marriage or relationship section, it's an opening eye. But then you need to give yourself time to know who you are relating to.
Yes.
You need to sacrifice some things. I mean, like you just said, if you have to go out of your way to check on those people, it builds confidence.
Yes.
Yeah. And it also builds trust.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't just say, "Oh, yes, it's business as usual." Because say, for instance, after the COVID, majority of us have learned so many things. And one of the things is that sometimes we even neglect our family.
Oh, yes.
Because we're so busy. We want to make it. We are doing the rat race, trying to jump on the wagon early in the morning, come back late, blah, blah, blah. And then even when we get to work, because we are being stressed, we don't even relate properly. So you are staying in a working place, working environment for 12 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, and you're not happy. So, and I think this COVID yes, I must say there's negative side of it, but there's still positive side of it because it makes every one of us to know ourselves better. You're
Yes.
talking about healthy. Oh, yes. I believe that before COVID, because of our tight, busy schedule, we just eat anyhow. We just pump it to fast job, chips and chips. We just eat anyhow. But then after the COVID, because just like you said, that Max and Spencer are selling veggie now, because everybody is now mindful. And when they know that people are changing their mind to be more healthier than before. I work also in hospital where presently it's even more dangerous. There's no bed. If there's no bed, how do you want to treat the patient? So that's more reason that we need to be conscious of ourselves. I'm sure Professor Marine is ready to come and talk to us about all this self business. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And what is that? I mean, like you said this morning, you have to have your very strong why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because it's very strong. Because it will boost the energy.
Yeah.
And that will also give you the courage to want to be committed to it. So if you don't know your why, then it's like they're doing it, let me do it. Then you'll be frustrated and the wrong way. You'll be stressed, you'll be frustrated, and you won't even perform well.
No.
So relationship within and relationship with others is very important. Like some of us that are Muslim or some of us that are Christians, relationship with God will also help. That is why prayer is very important, because we don't know it all. We can wake up in the morning and say, yes, we want to go to work, but we don't know what we are going to meet at working place. We don't know what we are going to meet on the way to where you are going.
No.
So you need to commit everything to God's hand. That's why prayer is also very important. But if you don't build your relationship with God, how do you want to trust Him? How do you want to commit your life to Him? So like my sister Mary, she's a very committed Muslim. I'm a very committed Christian. Even my sisters, Ambassador Temitope, and many of us on this. We have Pastor Evergreen also here. So we all have to build ourselves up, relate to ourselves spiritually, prepare ourselves for what we will meet out there. You know, I think, yes, it's the day that the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it. And just 5 minutes to step out of your house, somebody just step on your toes. Somebody just says something, you know, and
And
that's why
you wanted to give them a finger, but you thought about
and
it again.
exactly. That's sometimes if you're not careful, you will miss your cool. Or how do you say it? Miss your cool? Or, you know, how did you see on this platform? You miss your cool. You know, but if you have prepared yourself the way you can and commit everything to God's hand, then you flow with it. Even when disappointment comes, even when any other thing comes, you know that you've already prepared yourself. And for you to have done that, you know your why. And your why has boosted the commitment, because you ask yourself, why am I going to this work today?
Yeah.
So you have to have your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why did I choose that career? Why am I doing that business? You know? So once that one is very strong, then your commitment will work on that. And then from there, you need to be consistent. I like the way Ambassador Temitope have said it. Through your consistent, you build your competence. Because what you do every day, you get better.
Yes.
Just like one of my mentor before used to say that they always say it, and I know we also can say that something like practice makes you perfect. But we are not perfect yet.
No.
So we need to change that scenario. The practice makes us better, not perfect. And when you make yourself better, that's where competence, like Ambassador Temitope just said, that's where the competence will come in.
Yeah.
Because competence is the avenue where others will now see what you are doing.
Yes.
You might be doing it for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, consistently, doing it every day, getting better every day. And when you continue and not giving up, then people start noticing you.
Yeah.
Then people start deciding if they want to move closer to you, if they want to collaborate with you. By the special grace of God, every day I wake up like this, my messenger, my WhatsApp, everybody, all these platforms are just busy for me, that I have to be in control of it. And some of it is they want to award me, they want to appoint me, they want to hear from me, they need my advice, you know, those kind of things. But it's because of what they've seen. You don't label it here, yes, I am so and so. They want to see the work.
Yes.
They want your work to speak louder. The same thing happens to our relationship. So it is what you do more than what you say. Am I right?
Yes.
Because like you said, if I'm going to the books we're writing now, some people might decide to download, Google, research, do every other thing. But when it comes to CV, yes, we can have 5 pages of CVs. Like I always say to people that, do you know that, yes, you've proved to them, you've really proved to them that, yes, you have this certificate, you have this award, you have all that experience and everything. The main reason why they're inviting you to interview, do you know? Do you know? It's because I want to see real you.
Demonstrate.
Demonstrate. So all this formality of questions they're asking you is not, they might make their decision right from the time that you greet them when you are sitting down for the interview. They might make their decision like that. So it matters because they want to see your confidence. They want to see if they can trust you for that job. They want to see if you can bring new ideas to that place. They want to see how you are going to solve the problem. You understand? So when you now come to the interview and you sag yourself, your shirt is going like this, your hair is rough, you've already determined that you got the job yourself.
This one.
Isn't it? You've already determined that, yes, you are the director of that place, yes. I mean, look at our ambassador, Temitope. She said that one of the director of NHS in UK. And you have to dress corporate because she's going to be meeting other directors. So you don't just, there's a dress code for everything. I'm not saying that you should go to the market and dress up.
I've had somebody actually dress up so nice, and they were in the market, and people actually give them some respect. It actually attracts people to them because they wanted to just find out why they're dressing like that, and as a result of that, they had to buy because they spoke to the person.
I tell you something. When I first came to this country, because I like dressing corporate anyway, that is my nature. And I'm doing cleaning job. Can you believe somebody dressing up going for cleaning job? And then the question is, are you the director of the company? Or are you the cleaner? I said, you see me as a cleaner, but I don't see myself as a cleaner. So I'm being a director before I become a director. I mean, like one of my pastors will say that the way you present yourself matters. It will determine how people will. So if you want respect, then present yourself in a way that people will respect you. So, and it is still part of commitment. So you commit to yourself. So I don't want to waste much of your time. I think we need to move on. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It has been a long journey. And
I think there's a question.
Okay, any question, please? You are flying your heart. Did you put your questions on the chat box? Okay, are you raising your hands for question? Ambassador Kamara, any questions for? No. Okay, you are raising your hand. Okay, Ambassador Godwin, any question? Okay, quickly. Ask your question.
Okay, anyway, is my voice audible now?
Yes, it's audible, yes.
Yes.
I would really appreciate Ambassador Temitope for the impactful what you just said this morning. Just on my own journal down. And my question is, you just talked about consistency, commitment, and competence. So I want to ask this one driving question. How does consistency play a role in building and maintaining relationships? Because the consistency, how does it play a role in building and maintaining relationships? So I've just heard about commitment, heard about competence. I want to know about consistency, how we build and maintain relationships.
Okay. So when it comes to consistency, you want to be consistent when you're building a relationship. I don't know about people, but when somebody approached me for the first time, maybe I went to networking and stuff like that, I already, depending on how they position themselves, I already am skeptical. Okay, yeah, what does this one want now? Where exactly can I offer you, and what are you trying to gain from me? And depending on, and so there is all that going on, and sometimes it your consistency show, especially when it comes to mentoring. Mentoring is a good one to use as an example. I hope that makes sense. If somebody say, oh, please, can you mentor me? You have to show consistency. In the meaning, as a mentor, I'm not going to chase you. If you really want this mentee thing to happen, I need to see you chase me, because it means that you place value on me. You place value on what you think you're going to get from me. And that's not being pompous or anything like that. For you to, I have mentors that I look forward to, like Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth. I have mentors that I look up to, and I they have proved themselves over time. They have gained credibility. They have medals to show for it. And so your consistency show that you honor those commitments that they've done over the years. That consistency show that you value their sacrifice. You're not taking it for granted. It's the same way that even if the person is your relative, I'll give you an example. Some people, they will go into their relative is CEO. They go into, uncle, how are you? But other people will go with honor and respect. And you'll find out that what they get from those two relationships are different, because honor always give results. If you honor people's, and so when consistency is a way of showing honor, especially when it comes to relationship, especially if it's a relationship which is up and down, i.e., you're looking up to the person as a role model, you have to show that your consistency demonstrates honor. And when it comes to way down, i.e., I'm the boss and I'm relating to somebody who is my direct or anything, my consistency of asking them, how is your family? How are you doing? It shows that I am interested in them. And what that means in return is that they are committed to me, because they can see that I'm consistent. It's not like I just go in, oh, what are you guys doing? Why are you not working? No. I'm not just committed to them, seeing them doing the work. I'm committed to their family, their well-being. They came into the office, they're looking morose. I asked them, how are you doing? Okay, this is what happened. Okay, do you want to go an hour early because of this situation? It gives you time to unwind and do. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that all the time, but they know that you are, and they can see that over time. They know you're. So when somebody come around and start telling them, oh, that your boss is, the consistency that you've shown over time will make them say, no, don't talk about my boss like that. And if you do that again, I will report you. So your consistency actually builds honor. It shows honor for a higher up, for someone down. It helps you it safeguards you, because you have an ally. It helps you to build an ally when you're consistent in your relationship with your direct. With family is the same. If you're consistent with your child will believe you that you said, hey, you're coming at the 9 o'clock to the football game. If you're not consistent, like, yeah, daddy said he's going to come, but we need to wait and see if he's going to arrive first. It's called consistency. And so so is that, and it works both ways. So
Mm.
does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Good. Oh, wow, that is a good answer. It's true. So we have to be mindful of what we do in front of the children. We have to be mindful of the promises we make. because that is also part of it. We have to be mindful of our action, our attitude in front of them. Because you know what? They are like a little angel. They will question you, they will challenge you.
Yes.
If you think that they don't know, they know. And you'll be surprised when they start throwing you your questions that you can't answer.
Or they start mimicking what you've done that you didn't know they noticed.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ambassador Temitope. You've
Thank you.
really made our day. And
Thank you.
we thank you for spending time with us this morning to teach on this particular topic. We want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Commitment, consistent, and competent. Amazing, amazing. I think we are getting better picture of this C's words. I mean, this C's is really, really valuable in relationship, even in our leadership, even in our profession. And I believe that we are doing the right thing. Am I? Are we? Okay.
Thank you,
Right.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. We really
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.